Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Alex Kramer. It's now time to take a look at today's business headlines. And for help with that, we're going to welcome in business and markets analyst, as well as Newsmax contributor, Seth Denson. Good morning, Seth.
Hey, Alex. Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, let's start with the markets, which closed way up yesterday. This morning, futures are down ahead of the opening bell. But let's talk about this. The Federal Reserve once again raising interest rates with another 75 basis points jump in an effort to quench the rampant inflation. Seth, all right, what effect will this have on Americans?
This is going to have a significant effect on Americans, specifically those carrying credit card debt, those that are about to go out and try to get a home loan, have an adjustable rate mortgage. Those are the folks that's going to impact the most. But here's some people we don't talk about is every American this is going to impact from a perspective of business. For businesses, capital is going to be much harder to get. What does that mean? It means it's going to be harder to expand your business. You're going to have to shift costs back to the consumer. I mean, this is the reality of raising interest rates. There's not hardly anyone that isn't touched by it. That being said, it's necessary, but it was necessary to start and do it slowly. We talk about crawl, walk, run. This Fed jumped right out of the gate and is sprinting. And unfortunately, I think it's too late. The race is way too far ahead.
All right. Here is an update on a story that we've been following for weeks. The merge between Spirit and Frontier Airlines has officially been grounded after failing to convince a majority of Spirit shareholders. And this, of course, cleared the runway for JetBlue, who quickly stepped in and breaking this morning, not that long ago, reportedly reaching a $3.8 billion deal to purchase the airline. All right, Seth, what do you make of JetBlue's acquisition?
You know, for Spirit, this is actually a much better fit, I think. You know, they talk about opposites attract. And I think that Frontier and Spirit were just too similar. JetBlue is going to give Frontier a big boost in marketing from a perspective of JetBlue has a much better reputation in that low-cost carrier space. And so I don't know this is the best deal for JetBlue, but it's certainly a great deal for Spirit Airlines. Listen, Spirit has kind of become the running joke of the flying community because of their terrible customer service. They charge you for effectively using the bathroom. I'm joking, but they talk about doing that. They charge you for pretty much everything. JetBlue is kind of known as the higher end low cost budget. You're gonna have a better experience. So I think this is a better fit. I expect this deal to go through, and likely shareholders of Spirit wanted this deal a whole lot more than they wanted Frontier.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of memes and jokes on Spirit Airlines surfacing all over online is very, it's funny. So definitely Spirit comes out on top here. President Biden saying he will decide on his plan to cancel student loan debt by the end of August. So Seth, what do you make about his plan to cancel student loan debt, number one? Number two, what about all the Americans who have already paid off all of their student loans?
Yeah, well, you waited too long. The nanny state was coming and you just jumped in. You know, you took care of business too early. That's the only thing I can tell people that have already paid off their debt, and that's a really sad deal. Listen, I'm for certain aspects of this. I've dove into it. Here's two things I don't like about it. One is I don't like the idea of the government coming in and paying off anybody's debt. You made the decision to do it. You owe that burden. You should have to respond. Secondarily, here's the big winner of all this. The institutions that got your money. Which, by the way, since the federal government has backed student loans and really in the 80s when that really became part, the cost of college has gone astronomically high because these institutions know the government's going to back it. So those are the people that really win from this. But there are some aspects. People with disabilities, people who got hosed because these colleges were fraudulent, those people are carrying this debt. They didn't get anything for it. I'm okay in figuring out a way to help those folks, but the rest of it, no. No, you took the debt, you're responsible for it.
Yeah, a lot of people angry out there saying, are you going to pay off student loans? Pay off my credit card debt, you know? So right. It's, a lot of angry people hearing about this. But
and by the way, Alex, we don't have the money.
Right.
We don't have the money to do it.
Fantastic. End of story. Exactly. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Pending home sales dropped 20% in June when compared to a year ago. And the mortgage rate for a 30-year fix jumped nearly 6%. Seth, will the U.S. be forced into a renter market? And will Americans looking to sell their homes now have to wait even longer?
This is shifting to a buyer's market, but for the buyers, though, their price just went up because for every interest rate point, we're talking about, on average, a $500 increase to payment. That's not buying a bigger or better house. That's going to the banks. So unfortunately, this likely will lead to higher renters. It will be bad for buyers, but quite frankly, it's not going to be great for sellers either.
We only have about 30 seconds left, but I had to get to this one. I have a very strong opinion. Okay, so after more than 60 years, Sprite will be losing the iconic green bottle and opting for a clear one instead, and ironically, to be more green. Seth, your opinion on this?
Don't care. Don't care. These bottle companies change it all the time. But I want to know what your strong opinion is.
Okay, number one, I don't drink soft drinks, but it's iconic. The green Sprite bottle is absolutely iconic. Seeing it in a clear bottle, I'm upset about it. But I guess I don't drink soft drinks anyway, so it's all right. But Seth Denson, thank you so much for coming on this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Alec.